When you think about learning English in Africa, you probably imagine students studying British grammar or watching American movies. But right now, in thousands of homes across Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, and South Africa, something completely different is happening. Young Africans are opening their laptops, clicking play on YouTube videos, and learning to speak English from Filipinos, not from London, not from New York, from Manila. How did this happen? How did the Philippines, a country 7,000 miles away from Africa, become the new teacher of English across an entire continent? The answer is simple but powerful. Filipinos mastered something the West never learned. They made English feel human. 3 years ago, a 22-year-old Kenyan named Brian was struggling to win freelance jobs on Upwork. His English grammar was perfect. His proposals were well written, but every time he joined a video call with international clients, he could see the confusion on their faces. His accent was too strong. His words came out too fast. Clients would politely say, "Could you repeat that?" Then Brian noticed something. The Filipino freelancers in his network were getting hired again and again, so he started watching their videos. He listened to how they spoke, slowly, clearly, with a gentle rhythm that felt comfortable. Within 6 months, Brian changed his entire speaking style. He softened his tone. He slowed down his words. He started sounding more like his Filipino colleagues. And suddenly, clients stopped asking him to repeat himself. His income doubled. Brian wasn't alone. Across Africa, thousands of young people were making the same discovery. YouTube channels with titles like "How to Speak Neutral English Like Filipinos" started appearing in Kenya, Nigeria, and Ghana. Some videos reached 500,000 views. Comment sections filled with Africans saying, "This is exactly what I needed," and, "Finally, English that makes sense for us." TikTok creators in Tanzania began posting videos using Filipino speech patterns. Phrases like, "For me, I think," and "It's like, spread like wildfire." These weren't just words. They were a new way of expressing emotion in English. Then something even bigger happened. African companies started paying attention. In 2023, a call center in Accra, Ghana, hired a Filipino communication trainer to teach their staff neutral English. The results shocked management. Customer satisfaction scores jumped by 34%. Clients from Europe and America said the agents sounded more professional and easier to understand. Within a year, 3 more Ghanaian companies followed the same path. Soon, Kenya, South Africa, and Nigeria joined in. Call center training manuals that once featured British or American accents now included Filipino voices as the gold standard. Even language schools got involved. In Lagos, a private academy started advertising Filipino-style English classes. Students paid premium prices because they knew this style worked in the real world. For decades, Africans faced an impossible choice. Should they sound British, with that formal, crisp pronunciation? Or American, with that casual, fast rhythm? Neither felt right. Neither felt achievable. But Filipino English was different. Filipinos don't speak English like native speakers. They speak it like successful learners. And that's exactly why it works. Filipino English has a melody. It rises and falls naturally. It's not rushed. Every word is pronounced clearly, but not stiffly. There's warmth in the tone, friendliness, respect. When a Filipino says, "Good morning, how can I help you?" it doesn't sound robotic. It sounds like they actually care. Africans recognize this immediately, because Africans are also warm, expressive communicators. The Filipino style didn't ask them to become someone else. It just showed them how to be themselves, in a language the world could understand. But this story goes deeper than pronunciation. The Filipino way of speaking English represents something powerful: humility without weakness, confidence without arrogance, global professionalism without losing your soul. For over a century, English was a weapon used by colonizers. It was forced on Africans and Filipinos alike. It was used to make people feel inferior if they didn't sound proper. But now, Filipinos have turned that weapon into a tool. They've shown the world that you can speak English beautifully without sounding British or American. You can be understood globally without erasing your identity. And Africans are learning the same lesson. The change is now everywhere. African YouTubers joke about speaking like Pinoys, Comedy skits feature exaggerated Filipino accents, but the jokes come from admiration, not mockery. Young Africans say things like, "I'm trying to sound more neutral like my Filipino friends." Even African music and entertainment are shifting. Radio hosts in Johannesburg now speak with softer, clearer tones. Podcast hosts in Nairobi credit Filipino vloggers for teaching them how to speak with emotion and clarity at the same time. One Nigerian content creator with 2 million followers said this: "I used to think I had to sound American to be taken seriously. Then I watched Filipino vloggers and realized they sound like themselves, and the world still listens. That changed everything for me." Some linguists now predict that in 10 years, African English will sound completely different. Not British, not American, but something new, something softer, clearer, and more emotionally intelligent. A blend of African expressiveness and Filipino clarity. And if that happens, it will change everything. African professionals will win more international contracts. African teachers will reach global audiences. African voices will be heard without translation, without confusion, without judgment. This isn't just about language, it's about power. For centuries, the West decided what proper English sounded like. They set the rules. They judged who was educated and who wasn't based on accent alone. But now the global South is rewriting those rules. Filipinos proved that you don't need a British passport to speak beautiful English. Africans are proving that you don't need to sound Western to sound professional. Together, they're showing the world something the West never wanted to admit. English no longer belongs to England or America. It belongs to everyone who uses it to connect, to grow, to build. So the next time you hear a young African speaking with a soft, clear, melodic tone, don't be surprised. They're not copying anyone. They're creating something new. A version of English that's respectful but confident, warm but professional, African but global. And behind that voice is a quiet revolution. Millions across Africa aren't just learning to speak like Filipinos. They're learning that English can be theirs too, without permission, without apology, without pretending to be someone else. That's the real story, and it's only just beginning.